Hello, welcome to Lemon Steers, where we talk anything and everything entertainment. I'm, of course, the Lemon himself, Zeke Lemon, and this is my review for Friday Night SmackDown of Friday the 13th. But before we get into that, let's get the house cleaning out of the way, shall we? I'm Jaleel. Like, comment below, let me know your thoughts on this week's episode of SmackDown, and of course, hit that subscribe button as it helps me grow into my YouTube career. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, all that out of the way, let's get into the review. So, the very first episode of SmackDown on USA, we are now done with Fox. There is no longer a hard out at 8:57 my time to get to the local news. We can go over, and boy did we go over on this episode of SmackDown. Not by a lot. I want to say it was probably 6 minutes, maybe 7 minutes, but man, was it worth it. I think this was one of the best episodes of SmackDown in a very, very long time. And is it a coincidence that Roman Reigns just so happened to return and we are in full throttle with his storyline and he's getting his big return match? I don't think so. I think there was a lot of stalling when it came to Friday nights with everyone involved, including Cody, for obvious reasons. It just seems like now things are starting to become much more clear. Now, as for the SmackDown aesthetic as a whole, because, it's going to be a big talking point. It was that way on Twitter throughout the show was, the new logo, the new song, so on and so forth. There was no stage. The fist wasn't brought back. What do we think about it? I like the new logo. At first, I didn't. It was one of those things like, brand new. I don't like new things. But as I kept looking at it, I was like, I do kind of like it. I do kind of like it. At first, I was like, the S and the D, like it doesn't make it that clear. But no, I've come around to it. I now like the aesthetic of it. I just wish the rings were blue. I mean, not the rings, the ropes. I just wish the ropes were blue. That's really my only complaint when it comes to the actual aesthetic with the logo and how it is presented, because it's not really different. It's just, a different logo. But, if there was blue ropes, I think it would look a little bit more gritty. Just my personal preference. As for the theme song, it's whatever. It's a song. Megan Thee Stallion is a big artist. She's going to gain a lot of viewership. I am curious to see how the viewership is going to go. I don't expect 2 million like we did on Fox, but hoping for like a 1.6 or 1.7. And I do think hearing Megan Thee Stallion's song does help with that. Now the song will come around. The opening video was actually pretty cool. I did like that. I don't expect to see it a lot because we never play it, both on Raw and SmackDown. But yeah, overall, I don't really have that much of a reaction to the song. It's a song. It's just there to make noise, and Megan Thee Stallion is a big artist. Now let's get into the actual wrestling, kicking off with Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa, which was going to be an ongoing thread throughout. This was definitely the stake of the show, our main storyline that we were going to throughout. Fun match, very fun match. I wasn't really looking much. Let me fix my English. I wasn't looking forward to this match that much because I was just like, well, they say steel cage, so there no one can get in, but somehow the bloodline's going to get in, and Cody's going to have to overcome the odds. So while I was watching the match, even though it was a bunch of cool spots, like Cody doing a Cody cutter from the top of the cage, Cody jumping off of the top of the cage, Solo also had some great spots as well. I was kind of sitting on my hands and knees just waiting for the bloodline to come in. And then they didn't come in. So that was a very good subversion of expectations to actually be like, no, we're actually going to keep the bloodline out until after the match. After the match, bloodline come in. Cody's getting jumped. Roman Reigns does come back. I like how he closed the door even though he was about to get jumped 4-on-1. So that was pretty cool. I did enjoy all that. And then Cody coming out to be the help. And that's when it should have became clear to everyone, like, oh my God, Batman and Superman are about to team up to take on the bloodline. I thought they would just do 4-on-2. But I guess the 2-on-2 will be fine too. As well, because if the bloodline loses 4-on-2, then how can we justify the civil war that happens? Now, for the whole can they coexist thing, now that's a storyline that has been done to death for way too long, to the point where hell, if we stop now, it would still be too early. But the fact that it is the two biggest names in the company, who were the last two main events of WrestleMania 39 and 40, both nights of 40 at that. Two people who do hate each other, but who are the biggest names teaming up together. I don't think there's been this much hype around a can they coexist storyline since maybe when The Rock and Cena teamed up to face R-Truth and The Miz at Survivor Series. That's really the last time I can think of. And I'm very intrigued by it because I really liked how when Roman finally got the mic. We have yet to hear him say "acknowledge me" again. So that is a perfect note to put in our pockets as we continue on. He has yet to say "acknowledge me," even though he says, "I am the only tribal chief." Why didn't you tell us to acknowledge you then? So that'll be interesting to see Cody coming out going, "Oh, so it's still your WWE, huh?" Well, it was, and then they were about to fight, and then Cody doing the hand thing that Roman does when he wants the microphone. Good stuff. I also like how Cody's like, "Look, I'm done. I'm done with the bloodline. That's Roman Reigns' problem, and I don't really care for that dude. So, yeah, I'm done." And then, of course, Roman provoked him by going, "This is still my WWE." And Cody's like, "You're WWE, huh?" And, of course, it was good bait. Now, as for the match itself, I really don't know how you go about this. Because do you really have Jacob take the pin? Does Solo take the pin? Because he's the leader. I would assume Cody and Roman win because, like, that's such an overpowered team. But also, you want to keep Jacob strong because he's obviously a draw. Roman and Jacob is obviously a money match. WWE sees that. Otherwise, they wouldn't have let them not intertwine whatsoever within that steel cage. So, going to be really interesting to see how this match goes off. I assume this is the opener for Bad Blood. If it was up to me, it'd be the co-main event. I would still have the Hell in a Cell match close the show. But to me, this would go second to last. But I do think in Roman's contract, if he ain't last, he goes on first. So we will see how this plays out at Bad Blood. But man, I am really, really excited for this tag team match. As for the other match that will be happening at Bad Blood, both women's matches are going to be on the PLE. That's really, really exciting. Naomi, maybe Naomi. Nia Jax will either face Bayley or Naomi. And they're doing something a little bit different. I do appreciate this, and I'm very, very intrigued by it because it's going to be a tag team match. Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton team up to face Bayley and Naomi. Whoever gets the pin on Bayley and Naomi's team will face Nia Jax at Bad Blood. However, if Nia Jax and Tiffany win, then whoever gets pinned is kicked out of SmackDown and basically goes to Raw, right? Now, I really do not think that Bayley or Naomi is going to lose this match. However, I wouldn't be surprised. I would say, out of 100%, I would say 98% chance Bayley or Naomi win this match by pinning Tiffany Stratton. I think Tiffany's just there to get the pin because Tiffany can take loss after loss after loss because she's protected because she has that briefcase, right? However, if you did want to shift one of them to Raw needs faces, and they need big baby face names on there now that Becky is no longer within the company, for now anyway. So this could be an easy way to write them out of SmackDown and get them over to Raw. Now, with that being said, I do fully expect Bayley or Naomi to win. Who gets the win? I would say Naomi. Let's give it to Naomi. Bayley, I think she had her time. Yeah, sure, she's justified for a rematch because she did have a pretty decent reign. She had all the way up to, the hot WrestleMania at SummerSlam. But let's just get some new blood in there. Let's have some new matches for Nia Jax. Because we've already seen Bayley versus Nia Jax. And I searched my feelings. Do I really want to see that match run back? Even though I do think they did fine at SummerSlam? No, I don't. And I think something new would be just as fun. Maybe Bayley can do another program with Tiffany Stratton where there is an actual winner. As opposed to, last week's where Nia Jax kind of interfered to have Tiffany lose. So, again, I like the new way of how they're establishing new number one contenders. I like this new style with the tag team match. It benefits the story for both Tiffany and Nia because if Tiffany does take the lose, Nia's going to be like, what the hell? And also, again, Raw needs faces, and this is an easy way to write off. So even though I'm 98% sure that Naomi or Bayley is going to win this tag team match, I wouldn't be surprised if Tiffany and Nia win because also they planted the seed with Jade Cargill and Bianca. Maybe Nia doesn't defend the WWE Women's title, but goes after the tag team titles. I really hope we don't do that. There is a story there because, like Nia Jax said, she pinned both Bianca and Jade Cargill, so there is a story there with them. However, this was one of my problems with the WWE Women's Tag Team titles is that they kind of became second fiddle, and there's another title involved. Now, granted, the Women's Tag Team titles will be at the center of this, so it will be different. But I just want the main women's title and the tag team titles to be different and have their own programs. I don't want them to be merged into one. That's just my preference. Although, I am intrigued. So we will see as we go on down the line. But doing really good with the women's division, I think they have really beefed it up on SmackDown quite a bit. Another thing they have beefed up on SmackDown quite a bit is the mid-card. We had Andrade versus Carmelo 5. I might be in the minority here. I think this is my least favorite out of them. Now, at some point it was going to burn out, right? Because they kept setting the bar higher and higher and higher. I like the Spanish fly from the outside into the barricade on the barricade because that was just insane. But I would say out of all of them, and this one kind of fell a little flat for me. I still think it was a fun match. But I was also thinking in the back of my mind, I was like, well, they're probably going to do the 7, right? Like, you already did 5. You might as well go for game 7. I just don't know how you justify a game 6 at this point. Now, there's the easy way. LA Knight came out and said, all right, you're up. Andrade versus LA Knight next week for the US title. Cool. I guess Carmelo cost Andrade the match so that we do get number 6. And then Carmelo wins, and then we get game 7. And hopefully a PLE at Bad Blood. But we already have our 5 matches, so I highly, highly doubt that. Maybe we do a triple threat at Bad Blood and we somehow get 6 matches on the card. Because right now we do have the 5. But yeah, a very, very fun episode of SmackDown. There was a random Michin versus Piper Niven match too. That came from out of nowhere. Just like the finish for the Kevin Owens and the Kevin Owens and Randy Orton match versus Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. I have no idea why I said R-Truth. Justice for Ricky. That was very fun to see. I was like, who is this guy? God dang, is he hairy? It turns out he does a lot of indie stuff on the indie scene, I should say. Ricky, I do not remember his last name, but yeah, give him a follow on Twitter. But yeah, that was very fun. I like the finish of that, but overall, very, very fun episode of SmackDown. Really much enjoyed it. Again, the main things that caught my eye were Coach to Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns saga. Can they coexist? Really excited for that. I really, really like what they're doing with the women's division. I like how the tag titles are gaining love for it, and they're also gaining a focus. But I would like for the women's title and the tag team titles to stay separate. But if they do run this, I guess I can be okay with it, since this time the tag titles will be the focus as opposed to the women's title that it has been in the past. Kevin Owens and Randy Orton teaming up was pretty obvious. I did like the minor bit with Ricky. That was a lot of fun. Piper and Michin just was so quick, I can't even recap it. Because I swear, it came and then it just went. And of course, the steel cage match was a lot of fun. But yeah, let me know what y'all think about this episode let me know what y'all think about this episode of SmackDown down in the comments. As you can see, I'm still on a high from it. Really, really enjoyed this episode. Leave a like if you did make it this far. I would greatly appreciate that. And of course, hit that subscribe button as it helps me grow into my YouTube career. We have a lot more content coming. And until next time, guys, I'll see you here at Lemon Studios.